Ready? Play.
Novak Djokovic coming up against Grigor Dimitrov in the first semi-final in Miami. They have met many, many times before. Dimitrov is a familiar foe of Novak's, and we'll get into the head-to-head shortly. But Novak has progressed to the semi-finals in Miami without dropping a set. Wins over Hijikata, Hugo Carabelli, the Argentinian, Lorenzo Musetti 6-2, 6-2, and then today over Sebi Korda 6-3, 7-6. Those wins over Musetti and Korda in particular have suggested a big return to form for Novak. We've seen the losses to Riley Opelka and Botic van der Zandschulp in recent weeks that have really sort of been a bit of a jolt for Novak, but also perhaps his chances of winning big titles again. But his return to form in Miami has been very, very timely. The performance against Musetti was awesome, especially on defense. Unbelievable levels of defense there, and the return as well, and just occasionally managing to attack that backhand of Musetti's and ultimately prevailing. And I think Musetti was kind of out of ideas by the end of it and just didn't really know how to win points against Novak. Such was his level. Novak then today was another step up against probably a slightly more tricky opponent. I think perhaps many might feel that Sebi Korda was his trickiest opponent en route to a potential title in Miami. I probably wouldn't argue with that notion. And he served so well today. He served, I think, 83 or maybe even 84% of his first serves landed in, which is just unbelievable. Even Sebi Korda served pretty well. And despite that, though, Sebi Korda does get an early break in the second set and actually threatened to get a double break, but wasn't able to do it. And then when serving for that set, maybe he got a bit tight. There were one or two decision-making that he made when he was very much up in a rally at one point as he closed down on a short ball, but he went the exact direction that he really shouldn't have done. And that gave Novak the chance to get back into the point, and that he did. And that he did it with a vengeance by getting back into the game. And once it went to the tie break, you felt as though Novak had the psychological advantage, particularly with serving so well, but also some mean returns from probably almost certainly the best return of all time. And he does end up taking that tiebreak to 4. He feels good. I think one thing I thought about Novak was once he won those first 2 matches and then he comes up against Musetti in the round of 16, especially when he wins that one, he can now smell the final. He can now sense the trophy. He's even put out some words, today that he feels very confident about going all the way and winning the title in Miami. Of course, he hasn't played in Miami since 2019. He is a previous winner, of course, of the tournament. He's also, by the way, become the oldest ATP Masters 1000 semi-finalist. And if he does go on to win the title, he'll usurp Roger Federer as being the oldest to win a 1000. Federer winning at the age of 37 years and 7 months in 2019, and Djokovic is currently 37 years and 10 months, so 3 months older. He's chasing a record-breaking 7th title in South Florida and a 100th top-level title as well. So a lot on the line, and aging like a fine wine, arguably. Grigor Dimitrov, though, is going to be on the other side of the net and is not going to make things easy for him. Dimitrov, his run to the semi-final has been a straight sets win over China in the round of 64, a tight 3-set win over Hachanov, a player that he has a very favorable head-to-head with, a straight sets win over Nakashima before a dramatic 3-set win yesterday, including a 3rd-set tiebreak over Cerundolo, despite losing the first set and having chances to win that first set, also in a tiebreak. So that was a dramatic win, but did look like he was having some physical issues there as well. So he'll need that extra bit of time that he'll have had over Novak to rest up before playing Novak. In fact, he'll need every single bit of advantage he can get the Bulgarian 14 seed. Their head-to-head is 12-1 in Novak's favor. The solitary win for Grigor Dimitrov coming in 2013 on the clay in Madrid in a 3-set battle. The other 12 matches have all gone the way of Novak, including the last 10. Their most recent match was actually the final in Paris-Bercy. I do remember that one, a pretty one-sided affair that Novak won. I think, again, Dimitrov may have been a bit tired as well going into that final. I think he'd had an arduous journey to the final there in Paris-Bercy as well, and Novak winning the title in the French capital on indoor hard. That was their last meeting, so that's some 16 months ago or so. Just having a quick look at their last match on outdoor hard was in Australia in the round of 32 in 2023. Actually, that one was a straight sets win for Novak in the end, but it was actually a pretty tough one. In fact, the first set probably should have gone the way of the Bulgarian, had chances to win that, especially in the tiebreak, which now Novak narrowly won 9-7. Before then settling in a bit. And of course, Novak had one or two injury issues during that tournament. Maybe was there for the taking, particularly in the early stages of the match, but Grigor wasn't able to do so. That was actually their first match in 4 years, actually. But yeah, a 12-1 head-to-head advantage for Novak as he chases his 7th title in Miami and his 100th overall. Grigor Dimitrov is chasing his 10th. So there's a bit of kind of a symmetry there. One is on 99 career titles and the other one is on 9. Grigor's had some injury travails this year, but he does seem to be almost over them. And at least it was until that last round against Sabundalo where he was having some physical issues there. But I think those physical issues aligned with Novak's form, aligned with the head-to-head, suggests a win for Novak Djokovic. Although I am going to go for a tighter affair than they have had on many occasions, and I will go for a 3-set win for Djokovic. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.